Hello and welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the channel. You're going to have to pardon the animal noises as I record. They are going to do their thing. As I look at this cloudy day, I am reminded that winter is coming. Winter is coming, and that means so much. That's a season where things die. The leaves on the tree, the grass. So much happens in winter because there's a struggle to survive there. Whenever this time of year comes around where we're in fall and we're entering into winter, I always feel the need for preparation. I always feel the need for preparation, even before the world turned upside down. I have always felt the need for preparation. I can remember even growing up in the city of Detroit, I felt the need to get ready for winter. One of the reasons is I remember when I was very young, we used to live on the east side of Detroit at my grandmother's house, and we were poor. We didn't have a whole lot. But in the summertime, we'd have all kinds of fun. But then winter came around as a reminder that you have to handle your business. I remember having boots that had holes in them, and not always having a pair of socks to go on inside of those boots. And we would literally have to walk to school like that. And I remember there was someone who saw that I didn't have proper boots, proper shoes, proper hat, anything, because we were poor. It was a friend of our family's, and they decided that I'm going to make sure that this little girl has some boots, shoes, socks, gloves, hats. So this person took care of that need and got me the proper winter gear. Now, I said all of that to say this, that whenever winter would roll around, there was always this fear and concern as to whether or not I was prepared. I remember when I got a little older, my sister and I, we used to go to a church that was a little distance from our house, and we didn't always have a ride to get there, whether someone took us or picked us up. We didn't always have a ride, so I remember one day being so anxious to get to church because we were going to be visiting another church. But if you wanted to get a ride, you had to make your way there in time. So we set out in that walk. Before we started walking, there was a few snow flurries, but nothing major. But by the time we got there, it was a full blizzard, and everyone was gone. Everyone was gone. They had left. So we had to turn around and walk all the way back in a snowy, cold blizzard. My sister and I, we were very, very cold. I remember going to knock on one of the saints' door. She was home, and we told her that we missed our ride to the church, that our church was going to visit. We asked if we could come in and warm up. And this woman, this Christian church woman who had children our age, she told us, nope, you can't come in. So my sister and I, we turned around and we started walking home. And I remember crying for a number of different reasons. Number one, I was freezing. I was very cold. Number two, I couldn't believe that a so-called saint or Christian couldn't see two children that were anxious to get to church, but didn't make our trek there in time to get a ride. And so we were cold. Even after explaining all of that, she still wouldn't let us in. So again, yet another reminder to be prepared for winter. Winter is no joke. I remember last winter, some things happened The cold just came in, the snow, and it was colder than we had seen it in a long time. And we lost some of our animals during that time because the winter was too cold. I want you all to hear what I'm saying in this. Never do I say anything to cause or strike fear. I don't say things to cause or strike fear. But when I talk, I'm simply wanting people to take heed and to prepare for whatever it is they need to prepare for. Prepare for whatever it is you need to prepare for. Life is not a joke. Life is to be taken serious. Very serious. Mankind right now is facing a time that I've never seen before. Many of you have never seen before. Some of our older relatives, they may have gone through a certain time period that was kind of rough. But for many of us, this is our first time experiencing something so strange of what we're going through right now. All systems of the world are turning upside down. As I look at the animals, they are so unbothered by things because they're going to live out their lives. And when it's their time to go, they will do just that at the appointed time. But they don't have concerns the way we do. Most of them are mostly concerned about whether or not their human parents will feed them and take care of them, or if the earth around them will provide for them. That's what most of them are concerned with. But right now, we, people, mankind, we are trying to figure out the next step of those that are in power. You see, they are planning things that we have no idea. And some of them on the inside are actually giving us tidbits of information so that we can make moves in a certain direction. And when I say tidbits of information, it's enough for us to say that something is going on. It's enough for us to say that there is something that we need to prepare for. It's enough for us to say that we don't need to sit still and do nothing. So as we see systems around the world falling apart, and winter is coming, and there's even buzz about winter. Many are stating that this is going to be the worst winter yet. The coldest winter yet. This is what I have to say to that. Sometimes I think we give mankind too much credit. I think we give them too much credit in some regards. They can say and do a lot of things, but that doesn't mean that the Most High will allow it. Now, that's not to say not to prepare for the worst, but sometimes I think people, when they start to move in fear, they actually create a more toxic environment than if people were to just simply plan their lives as if there was an emergency. If we were always doing that, then there wouldn't be this frantic preparation. Over the summer, and I'm going to say over the years, we have been gathering our wood, gathering the things that we need to keep ourselves warm in the winter. I even ordered some winter shoes, some snowshoes, so that if things get rough and it's difficult to walk on the land, we put the snowshoes on and we're able to get around, because there is a such thing as not being able to get around. We experienced that last year. It was very difficult without having salt or ice down from the overnight snow, or not having a shovel or something right there. And if it freezes up as ice, without having the proper things to get you through that, it can make it difficult for you to function, especially if you're on a farm and you have to get to your animals. Well, in preparation for winter, we got snowshoes. So there is so much that we need to think about. Not worry about, but think about. So much that we need to think about. And the time to act is now. You don't just hold the thoughts in your mind without acting on them. But for so long now, many have been sounding the alarm. And many have been waking up and responding, but there are still those who have one excuse after the other. You don't have time for excuses at this point. At this point, we have no time for excuses. We're starting to see more and more families coming together. We're starting to see more and more activity towards people farming, growing their own food, storing their own food, doing what they can. I'm glad to hear of that, but there's still work to be done. There is still work to be done. Again, as I look at these animals, they seem to be so unbothered by the failures of humans. They're going to do what they have to do. It's in them. They know how to survive. They know what it is they have to do. We don't have to sit them down and train them and browbeat them with information. These animals know what to do. We don't have to teleprompt them. We don't have to show them a streaming video or sound any type of alarm. They are already fully aware of what to do. Mankind, however, sometimes needs to be frightened into movement. Need to be told and instructed on what to do to take care of your own self. It is truly sad the types of reactions that we are seeing when people don't know what to do. I feel for others. I definitely feel for others. I'm not one of those who can look at a person in their situation and not feel anything. So I got a lot of noisemakers right here. Y'all see them. These little noisemakers. They want something. They want something. They think I have a bag of food. Y'all go ahead and do what those right there are doing in the natural. Go ahead and eat your vegetation. We give them the treat bag food from time to time. And so whenever we come around, they're thinking that's what they get. They also fish in the pond. They catch fish. They know what to do. If we have something to offer, they'll accept it. But they are not going to sit around and wait. They're not going to sit around and say, oh, since the humans didn't feed me, then I guess I'll just starve. They're not going to do that. These animals are going to do whatever it is they have to do to be fed, to be nourished. Now, some of these are, for those of you who follow our channel, our other channel, which is more gardening and things of that nature, and home style type stuff. Some of these were babies earlier this year, but they have grown up. They've grown up. As a matter of fact, we have another male in the bunch, and he and his father were actually fighting. It's like they are very aggressive birds. If I'm not mistaken, we may have 2 more males. But they don't like competition. I'll just put it to you that way. And so we're facing some decisions on separating the herd or whatever, or possibly selling a couple of the males because they were throwing down. Males are very territorial. We actually had to run over there and break up the fight. That's how hard they were going at it. One of them even got his tail in there with my duck that's almost 10 years old. He might actually be 10. Waddle Waddle. He's an old duck. And one of these big bullies got into the yard where Waddle Waddle is and started fighting on him. And so we had to come out here. My baby ended up getting away. Waddle Waddle, he ended up getting away. We had to come out here and get this bully off of our baby. These are African geese. They are so aggressive. They actually killed our other geese breeds. They did. They killed them. We would see them fighting. They'd be out in the water, and you couldn't really tell. The other geese would walk away But then you get up the next morning and you'd find them somewhere deceased because I guess the beating was too much. One of them, they actually drowned out in the water. So these are some meanies. They are some little meanies. And it kind of got me off subject of what I was talking about here with all the noise. But they're my babies. I still love them. They are what they are. Yeah, they are what they are. Whenever they come at me with their head down like they're going to do something, I never back down. They always back down. Like, you don't come at mommy like that. Never bite the hand that feeds you. Anyway, I was talking about winter. I don't want to hold you long, but I want you all to do all that you can to prepare for the season, regardless of where you live. You see how last year down in Texas, they had experienced something that they had never experienced before, and a lot of people were going through something really rough, something that was foreign to them. Water froze in the pipes, and there were pictures submitted to where people were actually, in apartments where water was coming from the upper floors and froze before it could even hit the ground. That's how cold it was. So again, that lets you know that winter is one of those things that can creep up on you, but you must prepare. You must prepare as best as you can with whatever you can. Prepare as best as you can with whatever you can. All right, family. I hadn't been out here in a while recording like this, but I've gotten several requests to do some of my recordings outside. And, over the summer, we're very busy, and not just that, it's very hot, and so I don't always get out here. But today is kind of chilly too, but it was definitely doable. And so I wanted to come outside and record. So those of you who enjoy the nature could hear some of the animal sounds and use that as a reflection of what it is we must do, which is prepare for winter. We have got to prepare. Where are they going to pop up? Okay. So as you see, the different breeds fight each other. Look at that. It's one of those things. The different breeds are always fighting. I guess the thing that happens in nature also happens with humans. It all happens with humans. Okay, so it looks like that duck is trying to mate with the other one. It looks like he's trying to mate. So, ain't that something? Two different breeds of ducks. But what's amazing is these ducks. We had so many ducks, and what ended up happening was they just kept laying eggs, and babies just kept hatching, and before you know it, this is why we have so many of these ducks here. There's more over there as well. This is just those that are in the water. They're beautiful to watch. We have considered selling some at some point, but for now we're just letting them live here on the land and do their thing. I heard one farmer say she don't have animals for the purpose of farming. She have them because she loves them. And I totally understood that. I totally understood that. I'm one of those who really loves and appreciates our Creator. He created every last one of us. And I'm grateful for the life that is in me. I'm grateful to be able to breathe and walk and even stand here before you and tell you to prepare for winter. Okay, family. With that, I will say shalom.